Aloha, everybody. I'm Anne Hein. I'm going to wait a couple minutes till everybody gets on, and then I can explain what's going on here. Hope everyone's doing well. Make sure you give a little shout out. Let us know where you're coming from and maybe where you want to be. And maybe you can figure out where I think I want to be by my getup. I don't see any comments yet. Let's see what's happening out there. Oh, there's Miriam. All righty. Well, as I said, I'm Anne Hein. I'm one of the Janome educators. And today I'm dressed up like this because if this would have been a regular week, this would have been the second to last night that we'd be in Hawaii with my family. So aloha. I'm wearing my stylin' Janome sunglasses, and then of course my great hat. So welcome, and oh, we got somebody from Arizona watching. All right, there. Now I got hat hair after that. So today I'm going to be talking about the Janome software, Janome Artistic Digitizer, and I'm going to talk about paint stitch and show you some samples and some things that I've done with that. But I want to let you know, if you're new, if you're first signing in, you haven't been here before, we've been doing these Monday through Friday at 3 o'clock Eastern time, and we're all taking turns with different, Heather has a tropical drink for me. Ooh. You know, when I'm in Hawaii, I do like to have a blue Hawaiian almost every day. So my family said tonight they would make those for me. So we'll see what happens. Anyways, we're here at this page Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. We have a different educator, different topic each day. Sometimes we have an extra class afterwards with someone else. We had Jennifer last week doing some stuff with AccuSketch. We've had things on our long arm with Kelly. So all the educators are pitching in and doing some. We have Kimberly Imo and some of our extra guests doing some, Mitzi Reed, Danielle Amato, and we have some more people coming up, some surprise people. So be sure to check in here Monday through Friday at 3 so you can see what's going on. I also do a live feed on another webpage for Janome called Janome Artistic Digitizer. And that's at 11 a.m. on Tuesdays, right? Tuesdays. And that's a long one. It's like an hour-long class that I do, and a different topic each time. I posted the schedule on the Janome Artistic Digitizer Facebook page, and maybe they'll put a link in the comments down below here, hopefully, down over here, or maybe they're over here for you guys, I don't know. So there's that, and then I do another one the day after. So double check the schedule for that so you can catch up on all that's going on. So I am talking about our software, and Janome is giving a free trial of this software to anyone who wants to come and sign up for it, and then you can play with it till the end of May. This will be wrapping up pretty soon, so if you haven't put in an application and you're in the US and Canada, go to the Janome website, the USA website, and sign up. If you're in the UK, go to that website. If you're in Australia, go there. If you're anywhere outside of those areas, check with your local distributor and go through them, because that's how we're doing it. All right, so let me get going. I'm going to show you a couple samples. I did say paint stitch, and I have showed a lot of these before, so I'm going to do them kind of quick because I have stuff on the software I want to show you. And many of you have seen this. And paint stitch is when you take a photograph and you turn it into a thread work of art. So this is Goldie the Gopher from the University of Minnesota. And then here's a little flip bag. I would be taking this to Hawaii with me because these are flowers that I took in Hawaii. And it's just a little flip bag. This is actually a repurposed skirt. I took the fabric from the skirt and made my piece here. This is actually stitched on fabric and then applied. All right, and these were some other ones. A flower. I think this one and this one, the graphics are located in the program as samples, so you can check those out. Look how I even did the shadow of the tree. Really, really cool. And I have the favorite possum done in a circle. So this is an interesting thing to do. There you go. You can do little ones like this too. All right, so before we get going, I'm going to give you a little tour of the software, and then if I can, I'm going to try to watch for questions, and I'll answer questions along the way. I'm going to start out with something that isn't Paint Stitch, because I want to show you a tool that we're going to use in Paint Stitch. So it's kind of like a tool that you can use two different ways. So I need to turn my camera the other way so you can look at my monitor. Now it might be a little fuzzy. Sometimes the lettering isn't all that clear because we are filming a monitor. It's not a direct access on my iPad. So here we go. Let's see if we can get this to turn around. Touch the magic button. There we go. All right. So hopefully everybody can see my screen. We have some people from Chicago. Let's see who else. I'm going to go back here and look. Let's see. We have, Natsuko and Janet is on. Maria, Carrie, Sandy, Kim, Marianne, Lori, Hala. Hello, Hala. And so anyways, let me get these going here. Now, if you ask a question and I don't answer it here, I will go back and go through the comments and answer there. And sometimes my Janome helpers will help out too. I have a great team. You know, it takes a village for all of us to do our stuff. All right, so this is the welcome screen. When you open your software, this is what it looks like. So I love this because it's very intuitive of what I should do and where I should go. You know, if I want to create new, I would just go right here and make something new. If I needed to find a file, whether it's an embroidery or a graphic, I would come right into my browse button. I can pick my default hoop. Let me open this and show you. When you click here, these are all the major brands of machines that we have in here. And then those are the brands. And then on this side are the types of machines within each brand. These are all the Janome ones, and there's a huge list of Janome ones because not only do we have the American side, Canadian side, we also have our European models in there too. So you would pick the hoop that you want to work with most of the time, and then it just hops on over there, and so that would be your default hoop. We have your fabric choice here. Now what's neat about the fabric choice is up here you can choose your embroidery category and then the color of your background, and then the type of fabric in here. And all of that relates to the density in your project. So in the help files, you can read about that. Hi, Alice. You can read about that in the help files, and it'll help you understand that a little bit more. And talking about help files, let me close this. Help files are right down here, or always right up here if you need them. And when you open the help files, when you open the help files, it looks like this. And you have a choice. You can look at the contents, the index, or my favorite, search. And in here I could put, you know, I could type embroidery categories, and it would bring up the embroidery categories, and I could go right to it over here. So this is very easy to get in and out of. And they also have I'll open it up here, a printable help. So you could download the printable. It's going to show up here in a minute. There it is. You can download your printable help. Bring it over here. You can download this printable help. You can print it out if you want, or put it on an iPad or some other item, and then use it there in conjunction with your software. All right. And then on the far side over here, I'm going to open this. These are the tutorials. There we go. Now your tutorials, if you're on the internet, someone says they'll go into withdrawal when the virus is over if you have to do other stuff. Well, wink, wink, maybe I can do this a lot too afterwards. Who knows? I'm loving this. You guys love seeing it, and I love giving it to you. All right. So this is all the videos. There's the ones that came in with the program, and we've added newer ones here that I did, and I think they're going to be adding some more to this. So there's over 60 videos in here, and you could watch them at any time. These are also located, some of them have been linked to the page that you're on right now, the Facebook page that you're on right now. And they're also on the Janome webpage, and they're in Janome YouTube channel. So if you go to the Janome YouTube channel and sign up and keep it in your favorites bar, you'll be able to go there very easily and look at any of the videos that come out. All right, so we're going to talk about Paint Stitch today, but first I want to show you a tool that you can use in Paint Stitch, but you can actually use it with the embroidery side. So I'm going to open a graphic first, and this is the one we did the other day in my class, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. We did an applique, and it came out like this. All right, so I'm going to bring in that graphic and just show you another way to look at it. We're going to go to Auto Digitize. I'm going to actually make it a little smaller this way so we don't render all that background, and a little bit up on the bottom here. Let me see here, get my mouse working. And then I'm going to change the size right down here. You can actually size your embroidery as it goes in, your graphic as it goes in. So I'm going to make it 6 inches because it's like 10 and that's really big. So I'm putting 6 in there. And when it comes over here, I'm going to click on accuracy. And the color limit, there's 2 in here, not 99, so I'm going to leave 2. I've talked about accuracy in another video, so I'm not going to cover that. And I will be going over background in another video, so we'll talk about that then. Now that I've done this, I can hit trace. So far, not so hard. In an earlier video, I did show, I think it's on the Artistic Digitizer site, the Janome Artistic Digitizer site, on how to bring a graphic in. I gave you some tips and hints. So here's my piece. When I select it, I know by looking in my color manager right here that just the white is selected on the outside. So I'm going to click this X and delete it. There we go. And then the white parts are here. They're all individual. There is a solid black background behind there. I'm not going to worry about that right this minute, but I can get rid of my graphic that's back there. See how the graphic is still back there? Up here under View, I can go to Backdrop and Hidden, and it goes away. All right, so put this back. Let me get that back in the center there. There we go. So the other day we took the top part here, and I went over to Applique, and I made it a satin stitch on the edge, and I'm going to change the color of the outside and then the inside fabric. And I'm going to kind of zoom in so you can see. Oops, there we go. I don't know what's going on here. I think I'm having a little image issue with my computer. But anyways, here's the fabric, and there's the satin stitch around there. What I wanted to show you is on the leaves, instead of making them an applique like I did in the beginning, you could leave this as stitches. And I would change it from, this is a step fill, it's very flat. I can go to fill and satin, and then I'm going to bring it in real close here, and I'm going to change it to green. Actually, this green I really like. If I click on it, there we go. Maybe, there we are. All right, and then I'm going to go to Stitch Flow. Now when I click on Stitch Flow, at the top here we have 3 choices: direction, divide, and point direction. So under divide, I can take this and divide my satin stitches. So they look like this now. Isn't that cool? I think that's really cool. The next thing I can do with that selected and Stitch Flow, I can use direction and make the direction of those stitches change. There we go. So you can do things like that. The last one I want to show you under there is called point direction. I'll make this a satin, and I'll turn it green. Now point direction is really cool. When I go over here, it moves all the stitches towards that point that I'm going to put there. So see how all my stitches are now coming all that way? So you can really make cool things by directing your stitches where you want them to go. Okay, so remember this tool. We're going to use it here in embroidery. We're also going to use it in another way with Paint Stitch. So I'm going to go over to Paint Stitch. I'm actually going to delete this guy because I don't need him. And I'm going to go get my folder that has all my Paint Stitch in it. And let me look at my notes so I make sure I'm going in the right direction here. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you this letter here. And I'm going to bring that in as a paint stitch. This is actually a letter I put on the back of a jacket with the word love on it. Let me see if my light's in the way. There we go. So it came out pretty good. I like it. And I could work on the outside of this I'll show you that in another sample. But sometimes you want to highlight parts of your embroidery to make it show a little bit better. And that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to move this to the side so I can show you how it looks side to side. And I'll make this one over here. So I have two of them. On this one on the right, I'm going to use my stitch flow tool, and I'm going to highlight the center of this flower like that. And then I'm going to click off this section of it. And then when I scroll in, it gives the flower more definition. And I could come up here and I can use stitch flow again up here and bring out this, bring out this color a little bit more. So you can move around your design and get different parts of it and highlight it and bring it out and make more detail come out in those areas. So that's both ways to use that tool, the stitch flow tool. All right, let's see what's happening here. I kind of lost my flow of things. All right, lots of more people are on. Hello, everybody. Oh, there's somebody from Delaware. I'm in Delaware. Hi, Lois. There we go. Oh, somebody's glad they found us. We're happy to have you. I'm happy you found us. All right, so that's using stitch flow. But there's other tools you can use with your paint stitch. So let me show you another one, and I'll show you some other tools. So I'm going to use this picture here, and this is everybody's favorite cat, right? Who can name this kitty? Who knows the name of this kitty? Let's see if anybody knows who this kitty is. I'm going to just make it where I want just his head. But the neat thing is, see that hand? I can move my little box anywhere around here if I want to, which I kind of like that, so I can make it any size. I'm going to leave him at the size he is down here, so he'll size up to that. And did anybody name that kitty yet? I don't know. Let's see. All right, here goes. Paint stitch and open. All right, so there he is. And when I click on him, my properties are over here on the right-hand side. These are where I have the choices that I can change. Janome cat. What's the name of that Janome cat, Michael Smith? All right. I can change my palette over here if I want to. And I'm going to change this one. I'm going to put two of the kitties on here so you can see a few things. Let me go here to grid, turn off the grid, and I'm going to turn off my hoop. There we go. And I'm going to make two copies. I'll copy and paste him and put one next to each other. And let me move them over so we're not on the pink. There we go. All right, and we'll move over this way. All right, so now I have two of them. So you can see the original, and as I play with the other one, you'll be able to see what's going on. If I'm in like a Janome palette, maybe I want to go to, I don't know, maybe I have a Madeira here, and it's going to change this one to the Madeira palette. Takes a moment here. There it goes. So those are with the Madeira colors, and I can try other ones in here. I can lessen the number of colors right here. I can change my density. I'm going to talk about stitch length in another sample. Smoothing, I can play with smoothing. I'm going to talk about that in another one. And then for blending, let me check. I'll get the one on the right, on the left here. For blending, you can make your blending low blending. So you have less colors blended, or a very high blending. So let me go over to full so you can see the difference. So this is a good way to look at your paint stitch. So you keep your original on one side and make changes on the other if you'd like to. Oh, happy Friday, Dot. Happy Friday. All right. She is the dot to my polka. Makes my heart go. All right. One other thing I want to show you about Janome Cat is, let me delete this one. I'm going to copy the original again. And, let me see what happens if I move them over. Oh, having difficulty. Hang on a second here. Well, somebody asked me, what's the difference between paint stitch and photo stitch? And right here, I can go from paint stitch to photo stitch. Now photo stitch, well, that won't look very good. Let me go back out. That's not good. Sometimes your demos are well planned and then other times things fall apart. Here is Janome Cat in black and white. There we go. And I'm going to bring him in as a black and white. So he's photo stitch. And when you get in close, you can see it stitches more in columns like that. And you can make changes on your photo stitch also over here. If I go to monochrome, it sharpens it up. And you can change your gamma correction and all of that. So that's the difference between the two. One is, you're welcome, Kimberly. One is a thread work of art, and one is another type of thread work, but it's more in lines and angles. And you can, change that, the width and the density, and work on that part of it, and the angle of your stitches in there too. So you have some changes. That's photo stitch that you can work with. All right. Now, one of the things I did is some of my photos, I take them into another app on my iPad, and the one I use, it's free, and there's a ton of them out there, is called Edit PS. I think it's Edit Photos or something. But if you put that in the search of your app store, your Play Store, you'll come up with a bunch of apps, and I use a free one, and it just gives you filters and ways to enhance the colors, change the shaping of your picture, so that when you bring it in for paint stitch, you can really create even more artwork with it. So it's a way to expand what you're doing with your photographs. And they're free apps, so it's easy to use. And no money out of your pocket, so that's always fun. All right, now I want to talk about stitch length. Let me get rid of this one. And the reason I'm deleting today is I am hooked up to the monitor, and I know we've had some issues with Wi-Fi on our things, and I don't want my software to be affected by that today. So I'm going to go back, and I am going to open my favorite goat here. I love this goat. And this is a painting, so it's a picture of a painting that my oldest did for me. I love goats, and it commemorates a visit to Portland, Oregon, where we went to the Tulip Festival, and then we went to see the Beaumont goats, and actually I was on TV in Portland too. My kids were afraid to be on TV, so they put me on. Can you imagine? I was on TV and not afraid. Yeah, I'm sure you're shocked with that. All right, so here we go. Oh yeah, it just started snowing. Is that in upstate New York? Someone else posted that. Is it snowing in upstate New York? I know, it's amazing. All right, here he is as a paint stitch. Now, I talked about stitch length. And over here, you can change the stitch length. And I'm going to put my stitch length in at 0.25. Now that's a 1/4 inch. That's fingernail sticking kind. You can get your fingernail under there. And look what happens. He gets all fuzzy. This looks really good. I haven't had a chance to stitch this yet. I don't know how it will stitch because it's a pretty long stitch. And I'll move in so you can see. See all the little stitches. It's all these stitches laid on top of each other. So it might come out really cute. So I have to take some time and stitch that out. You do have to have time on your hands to stitch your paint stitches because they are time consuming, and they just a lot of stitches in there, so they take more time. So that's playing with your stitch length if you wanted to play with your stitch. Oh, someone's from Amsterdam where it's warm and cozy. Ooh, nice. All right, let's get rid of the goat. And let's see here. Let me discard that. Here's one I want to do. Earlier, someone posted their portrait. And that was Noriko, my friend from Japan. And she's one of our Janome artisans, or I'm not actually sure what her title is with Janome. She's one of our artists. She does some of her digitizing is in our in our embroidery machines. She does beautiful, beautiful quilting. I just love her work. And so she did her portrait, and Regina, who is my manager, said I should do my portrait. And I said, well, maybe I should do your portrait. So here's Regina, and I'm going to do this open as paint stitch. I'm going to change it and make it like 8 inches because 4 is kind of tiny. And here we go. Boop. And there she is. Now, one thing, it's outside the hoop. So let's get rid of the hoop so we don't have that area, and we'll move her on. Let me move her to the side so we don't have any issue with that, and close the grid. There we go. All right. Now, one thing I noticed when I get one of these on here, if I change my background color, it helps me decide what I want to stitch it on. Yeah, isn't that amazing? Everybody's going, Regina, Regina. That is really amazing. I just love this. So you could stitch it on a white background. You could actually come up here to your fabrics, click on your color, and you can use your bar here and make the color dark on the back. Or if you want to come in here, you can pick a more, maybe something more pink to put behind it, and then touch OK. And there you have a pink background. So depending on what you stitch yours on, you can highlight the colors that way too. So, oh, Jenny's on. Good morning, Jenny. So you can highlight your piece a little bit more that way. All right, and let me talk about, while I have Regina on here, a little bit on brightness and contrast. So if I take my brightness and I can bring it up, let's just bring it up 10. I think it's a percentage, so I'm gonna bring it up 10 and see what happens. So we have it maybe washed out a little bit more, maybe change the details a little bit. I can go back, put that at 0. Maybe I want to work with the contrast, so let's bring the contrast up 10 and maybe sharpen things. You have to play around a little bit and test these out and see which you like, and yay, JP, and see which way you like them. I mean, it really does change your picture when you're working with different parts in the properties. All right, let's see. Now, the other day, I did a little, what I call on Wednesdays, I do a short little video on the Janome Artistic Digitizer site, and I call it the Janome Facebook Quickie. So I showed paint stitch a little bit, just a teaser, and oh yeah, see, you could put that in your sewing room. I'll send it to you. All right, I did this little guy last week, and he's so cute. It's a little ladybug, and as I move it close, you can see those stitches. It's very cute, very cute. So when I got done that day, I said, you know what? I should turn that into a wallet. And so I went back into my program, and I made it a little bigger, and I made this little zipper pouch, and on the back, I took a piece of just the green part and stitched that too. So I have this whole little zipper pouch, and you won't be able to tell, but on the inside, I don't know if we can see inside there. I don't think so. I have little ladybug fabric on the inside. So you can do such cute things with this. I mean, you would want to buy this, you know, if you saw this in the Brighton store, you'd probably fork down some money for it. So this is really cute. So happy Mother's Day to me and from me. So that's how you got to get your gifts sometimes. Though I did get my Hawaiian shirt today as a Mother's Day gift. So that's wonderful. Let me show you that ladybug and how it works, because I love that ladybug. Goodbye here up to Regina. So everybody say goodbye. We'll come back to you. All right, so here's the graphic of my ladybug. And I'm going to bring this way down in here because I don't need all that green. I just need some of it. There we go. And I'm going to make him, let's see, that's the height. So I had him 4.5 inches high. And we're going to say okay. Oops, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to touch paint stitch. How many of you forget to do that? I don't know how many times I've forgotten to do that. There we go. Whoops. All right, so if your little box goes away, just click and drag and it'll come back, because it'll happen. All right, 4.5 in here, and I have paint stitch selected, and okay. So there it is. Isn't that cool? And look at that little shiny spot on there. I think that's really neat. So let's look at that, how it stitches. I don't know if everybody's seen how it stitches. And I'll go back here and see. Oh, let's see. Who else is there? Becky, Mitzi, Janie, Barbara, lots of people. Hello to everybody if I missed someone. All right, so let's go into slow redraw. I don't know if people knew this was here. You could watch your pieces stitch right here on the screen. So I'm going to bring it in a little closer, and once I get it going, I'm going to speed it up with the cursor here. So see how it stitches? And then when it changes color, I'm going to get up here where it changes color. It's going to layer the next color in, and then the next color on top of that, and then it layers another color. So it's blending and creating this beautiful work of art. Let me get in close so you can see. It just blends it all in there. There we go, the lighter green, and then we're going to get into the ladybug, and there it is. So I'll come back out. So that's how it's going to stitch. It's going to have all those nice layers in there. Okay. Now, I have one more that I want to show, and let me think. Oh, when I did this ladybug, I'll show this part here. I ended up putting it on, let's see, here it is. I put it all in one hoop so I could stitch it all at once. And so here it is. So this would be the front and this would be the back. And then I stitched it out. I left plenty of room around it to give myself seam allowances, added in my zipper in the top, and just did a lining, and off I went with that. There we go. So not that hard. I mean, just changing thread on your sewing machine is probably the hardest part. Let me show you this part here too. This is a Jeff file of a paint stitch. So people are wondering sometimes how you edit things away. Now, the way the paint stitch is made, that layering technique is really what makes paint stitch paint stitch. So when you start removing parts of it and doing different things to it, at the stitch level, you could change the quality of your stitch out. So you always have to remember that. In this one here and in that possum where I had just the possum in the center, the possum, we colored the whole outside in the paint program, or for Mac users, it's Paintbrush. We colored it all a solid red. And I know that color was not in the possum design at all. So when I got to the red, I didn't have to stitch it. So it made a circle design. So that was pretty easy. But you can edit out these colors. When you bring in your Jeff, you can select from your sequence window over here. And if your sequence window isn't showing them, you can click up here and it will show them. Once I select there, I can hit delete, and then I can kind of go around here and delete all of these. So I could have just the this little part. So it depends. There might be parts of this that you delete that you might need. So you have to remember that when you start doing this type of deleting. But it does make some interesting ways to work with it. Yes, this will work with your MemoryCraft 9900. The software works with most of the major brands, and it has most of the major brand formats in there, including Jeff in there. So not to worry about that. So that's another way to edit it. You would bring it back in as a Jeff file. Let's see here. Okay. Now, I just checked my phone, and this is sad. I just got the notice that my flight to leave Hawaii is a notice to check in. So I would be kicking and dragging my feet right now if I was in Hawaii. All right, so let me show you my last one because I'm very excited about this last one. All right, let's close this. All right, so I have this photograph like here. And these are two very special people here. This is this is Kimberly and Mr. Kim, and I did this as a paint stitch. I'm going to do it here just once this way to show you. So it came out like that. Yep, you definitely, Pauline, you can go back and watch it over and over. You know, right now as we run out of things to watch on TV, you can go to the Facebook page here and watch all the videos and have plenty of things to watch to keep you occupied. So there it is there. But I took it into that app I was talking about and I enhanced the colors. So I made it a little deeper. Kimberly always posts these beautiful sunset pictures, and so I took this one and I just made that sunset a little bit more in that app called Edit PS. It's a free app. It's not part of Janome. It's just out there in the app world. Let me make this 8 and okay, and we'll see what happens. So there it is. Now, what's neat, again, you can take this and put it on a black background maybe. So it would look more like that, which I'm not sure if that looks, ooh, that does look good. But let me go back to white because I got something to show you. Here we go. Everybody get ready because this is the big reveal. Whoops, let me get that out of there. There we go. Here's the big reveal. Let me see, can we? There it is. So I stitched this out and I just need an address now to send it. Isn't that cute? Look at them two lovebirds right there and that beautiful, the sun on there. I'm just amazed. And when I watched this stitch, it just got me so excited. I can show you some of the pictures from when it was stitching. So here's one of the pictures when it was stitching. I mean, I was just so amazed at how it's coming out. And so somebody asked the difference between Digitizer and Janome Artistic Digitizer. This is a unique feature of Janome Artistic Digitizer. This is not in the other program. And the two programs work a little bit differently. One, so there, I think there's on the Janome website, so I'm trying to say, on Janome website, I think you can look at the differences there. There's a little part in there. Is Cheeto in the picture? I think in their heart, Cheeto is in the picture, right there in their hearts. So that's when it was stitching out. Here's one more of it stitching out. And it just amazed me. Sometimes I just giggle when I'm looking at what I'm embroidering. And what was that in there? Oh, is Cheeto in the picture? But yeah, it came out so beautiful. I'll put it up again so you can see it. I was just really amazed. Let me see if we can get it in the picture. Isn't that, I just think that's just beautiful. And Kimberly can put it in a frame, or she can put it, make a quilt blocks around it and make it into a pillow, or whatever she would like to do with it. So I just have to have her send me her address, and I promise I won't stalk you too much, Kimberly, and I can send you that. All right, I think I'm at the end of my paint stitch train, and if anyone has any questions for me, I'll hang on a minute or two and answer any questions. Let's see. Right now, with the software, updates are free. When there's an update, you're notified within the program, and you can update right within your Artistic Digitizer program. You know what's cool about Janome Artistic Digitizer is it is both PC and Mac compatible. So you can use it on an iOS. So you don't need extra software or anything, and it has unlimited installs. So you can log out of one computer, log into another, and use it on another computer. So if you have a Mac at work or you travel with a Mac, you can log out at your home computer and use it on your travel computer. So it's very ease of use with this. I didn't tell everybody this, you know, I didn't start out knowing a lot about software, and you know, it's all smoke and mirrors. You may think I know a lot about it, but I like to tell people I'm a click and make it happen girl, and that's why I have these nails. I like to click and make it happen. But when I first started out, I was lost. I would save something in my computer and not be able to find it, and my husband's a software engineer, and he would help me. And then in the morning, he'd go to work in the morning, and I'd go find that design, and I couldn't find it until, you know, just before he came home from work, I'd finally find that design. So how many thread changes was this? This was 15 thread changes. And it's not on a USB or a CD. The software is it's a downloadable key. So you can, they give you a code to go to and you download it that way. So, and as Regina just mentioned, our free trial is ending May 15th. So if you wanted to take part of it, jump on over to Janome.com, and you can, there's a Janome.com promotions artistic, and then you can sign up there. And then the trial is good, once you get it, is good until the end of May. So you still have a lot of time. And I'm doing videos on the other page so you can see stuff there. That's Janome Artistic Digitizer. There's two pages that have Artistic Digitizer. One is Janome Artistic Digitizer. That's our page. And then there's a second page, just as good. But for people with the trial and others, you can go to the Janome Artistic Digitizer page. Oh yeah, it does come in a CD, but you can download it from the site, yes. If you don't have a CD drive, there's ways to get it there. All right. Yes. Yep. Kathy, you have the right one. Regina answered that. Okay. Hang on. Oh, okay. Well, I think I just had a little disconnect, so I'm going to actually let you go. Everybody have a great weekend. As my youngest said, it's the start of the slow weekend, or the short weekend, and Monday is the start of the long weekend. So, aloha. And everybody enjoy your weekend, even if there is snow. And we'll see you next Tuesday on the other site, Janome Artistic Digitizer. Love y'all. Bye-bye.